just like most of our childhood hopes and dreams, let's talk about things that are abandoned across the world. First up, in Japan, we have Hashima Island, aka Battleship Island. Because I mean, if you look at it, it's kind of shaped like a battleship. This whole island used to have about 5,000 people, but then it was abandoned in 1959 because it kind of had a collapse of the undersea coal mining industry. It was recognized as a UNESCO Heritage Site in 2015, and it was briefly featured in James Bond's Skyfall. Remember that creepy villain? Oh my god. Number 2, the Varroa Quarter of Famagusta City in the island of Cyprus. Quick summary, the island of Cyprus is basically divided by a UN buffer zone with the mostly Turkish north and the mostly Greek south. Because there was a war in the 70s, the Turks invaded and blah blah blah. Anyway, this area was mostly inhabited by the Greeks. It was actually a huge tourist spot. It was the largest tourist spot at one point, but then it got closed off after the war. Today you can see all the high-rise buildings and they're just empty. They're just empty. Next one, in the country of Namibia, Colemanskop. This place used to be a town centered around diamond mining, but then after the resource was depleted, they all just kind of abandoned it, and now it's almost half covered in sand. It's actually a very famous place for photographers. They love it. Look at that. The sand's just like reclaiming itself in the desert. Nobody can build on my terrain. Next, the oldest one on the list, Kulara in Rajasthan, India. This was at one point a very prosperous village for centuries, and it was inhabited mostly by high-caste Brahmin peoples. But then it was completely abandoned in the 19th century, possibly due to dwindling water supplies and earthquakes, and now it's considered like a haunted tourist spot. And finally, the last one, you've probably heard of this one, Pripyat, Ukraine. It's basically the town that's right next to the Chernobyl nuclear power plant that had a meltdown in the 80s, and it was crazy. They say that Pripyat won't be inhabitable for another 20,000 years, but there's a bunch of like vodka drinking babushkas that don't give a shit, and they're like, no, we're still staying here. This is our home. You can't take it away from us. And the government's like, okay, fine, you can stay. Also, they discovered a weird black fungus that eats the radiation, so I guess that kind of helps. I don't know. Anyway, make of that what you will. So what are some of your favorite abandoned places across the world?